Okay, so we'll get started, and if other people join, then I'll just add them in. Last week we had a tech issue and Kelly was VIP, the only one with us. So glad to see we're sort of sorting it out. I think I know my calendar still had 2 links, so hopefully more people join in or they can catch the video later. But today I wanted to show you guys something I do or used to do when I was brokering every holiday season. And now there's a way for you to not really automate the whole thing, but at least speed up the process. So I'll share my screen. And Ashley, since you're with Brex, you may have seen this already, but it's a good refresher. Okay, there you go. So this is one of my favorite holiday pieces, like Canva templates. And mostly because it's like a free way to reach out to your realtors and be like, hey, here's a list I made of all the local notaries and lawyers that have holidays or availability during the holiday season. Because as we know, the holiday season, a lot of people will take either the whole week off, a couple days, maybe an extended Monday. There's a couple stat holidays in there, a bunch of stuff, right? So it's a simple, really simple template to put together. And all I typically do, and I mean, I can relate with Kelly because most of our lawyers are the same, is I reach out to my favorite lawyers first, because then it's an easy touch point with them to thank them, you know, for their support throughout the last year, and also say I'm putting together something for my clients and my realtors to just showcase who's available over the holidays. And I mean, it's good for you guys to know as well. But so I'll put my favorite realtor or lawyers at the top. And then at the end, I will fill it with other things if I don't have enough here, because you can see, I think there's 6. And another tip too, for those mostly in like kind of Ontario province, but is to add deeded, because deeded typically is open over the holidays and they're a digital solicitor platform. So a really great way to introduce your clients and your realtors to deeded this time of year as well. So this is, you know, you can move these around and change the dates accordingly, but I would probably go, you know, check your December calendar and January calendar, check which days are the weekend, because you might have to duplicate these and extend the weekend to have more X's than you do check marks. And then down here, you can simply add your name, your agent information, your photo. I've seen some people even go a little bit further and add their realtor. So if you want to like customize it specifically to the realtor, that's a good idea too. Anything that's branded to your realtor really does encourage them to share it, right? If it's branded to them and not to you, then they typically will share it right away. So this square form is easy for them to share via email, but it's easy to send via text or for them to post online as well as you post online. So it's pretty multi-use. Again, probably why it's one of my favorites that comes out every year. So you'd update your info here. If you're familiar with Canva, you would go to your styles and update your colors accordingly. So then you can just click your buttons and, well, it's very bright, but you get the picture. You can update accordingly to your brand and your font as well, add your logos, your photos, and that kind of stuff. When you're ready to hit submit, if you have Canva Pro, you can obviously schedule from here or download. I would recommend as a PNG or a JPEG, and just high quality as well in case they decide to email it. So I've already downloaded it, not made any changes, but essentially that's what I would edit before going to the next step. So if you're on the call today, either through Google or on Instagram, just let me know and I'll send you the link to this Canva template and you can have fun with it from there. So then going into the platform, My Broker Pro kind of CRM platform, you would actually go to your contacts now. And a really easy way, you can text message or email your entire database, or your realtors, whoever it is that you're trying to target for this. Hopefully, if you have realtors in your contact list, you've likely added a realtor tag to them or categorize them somehow in your CRM that they are realtors. Then it's really easy to use the filter just do the quick search and the filters on the side here. And then the other thing people do too is create smart lists for their realtors. And a smart list is essentially just a list of your contacts, but really easy to access. So when I go back to my contacts, what I would do in this case, typically I email this, I would say, in the past. However, you guys know I'm pretty aggressive with my text messages these days, mostly because it just lands in the realtor's hand. We all know the realtors have their cell phone in their hand 24/7. So it's a great way to get a hold of them, and you know they've seen it at that point, right? Whereas an email they can easily ignore or gets buried in their inbox. So what I would suggest from here is you would actually select all. And you can see here when you select all, it only selects usually like 20 records, and then you may have to select all records. So this is just my demo account, but if I hit select all records, now all of a sudden it went from 20 to 300. And you can kind of see that here, that it changed who I'm messaging as well. So then from here, you can send email. I'm just gonna pick one person in case I make a mistake here. And then from here, you'd send email. And it says send email to the following contacts, mostly because this is a bulk action. So typically when you create a bulk action, it wants you to say this action title down here, just describing what you're doing. So in case, let's say your assistant's working in there or something happened where you're like, oh no, like what was that? Like what happened? There's actually a record and a history of all bulk actions. So it's a good time to actually describe what you're doing. So you can say sending solicitor schedule to realtors. And then so ideally you could create a template. And if you're with us, obviously we have hundreds. I'm trying to think if I even have a solicitor. I know I have a bunch of solicitor ones, but so yeah, we would probably copy one of these and just create a schedule, and then you can embed the pretty image inside or create your own. If you do it just from here without an email template, it'll actually be what we call like HTML, like just text. You know, it looks like a real email. It doesn't really look like coming from a CRM. So you can do custom values again by saying like, hey, client first name. That way you don't have to BCC anyone anymore. I know my husband always does that. Like, you have a CRM. And then you would do from yourself, from your email, and the subject line, you can say solicitor holiday schedule inside. And then you could put a little Christmas tree or something fun. Emoji's always good for emails. And then you would type whatever your email is. And then from there, you can actually attach files. So what I did before you guys hopped on was I downloaded the file from Canva and I put it into actually the media storage. So it's kind of hard for you guys to see right now, but this media storage here on the side, right in here, you can house like documents in there, pictures in there, all sorts of stuff. So I actually put it in there before we chatted. Oh, it's going to my thing anyways. Okay, solicitor schedule. And then you can upload it and you can see it's attached here now. So now you can finish off your email, and I'm just going to tell Kevin, hey, sorry, Kevin, this is a test. And some cool things you can do is you can send and schedule it all at the same time. So if you knew you wanted to send this, let's say next week, you can actually schedule it, or you can send in drip mode. If you have a massive database, this is recommended if you're going to send it to everyone. For example, like our mortgage database actually has around 10,000 people. The system won't really allow you to send that many at once. So you'll probably drip, 100 an hour or 500 an hour or 500 a day. You can pick typically, and you really get to say like, when does this start on? The batch quantity is like how many do you want to send out for this drip? And a drip just means like this batch is going to get it, and then an hour is going to pass, and this batch is going to get it, and an hour is going to pass. So you're saying I want to send to 500 people and repeat after one day. And then I don't want it to be sent on Saturdays and Sundays. You can pick that. So this is just if you're scheduling it or sending in drip mode and between certain hours. I would say you probably realtors, if you're sending it to them, you're probably 10 a.m. or later. And then if you're sending to your entire database, you can choose what you think is appropriate, maybe 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. or something like that. And then you would just hit send email. So I'm just going to go send all at once. And you can see all that went away because we're no longer scheduling it or dripping the content 500 at a time. So from here, we would do send email. And then you can see, send email to the following contacts. Your bulk action has been scheduled. In this case, we didn't actually schedule it, so it actually just submitted, and you hit OK. And then from here, you can actually go back into that contact. And let's see here. After it updates in a little bit, you will see like the email pop up in the conversations tab, so you can see that the action's actually been done. Bulk actions, if you go into here, you can see here, view, complete, show stats. Sent to one person processed and delivered. So go from there. Skip, this is just, I don't think I even have my email tagged in this one. But anyways, you would see your analytics in here to see how many people it went through, if there was any errors, anything like that. If people have you on do not disturb, it will skip over them. If the email doesn't exist or there's an error, it will go over them, or there'll be an error. So it's a great way for you to see but these were all demo ones we've created in the past few weeks. Yeah, great way to kind of automate that. The other option, in this case, I would say, let's go back to contacts, is again, text messages. So instead of email, you would actually just go to the left of it of send SMS, and the exact same thing. And again, this way you're kind of guaranteeing it lands in their phone. So you pick the phone number from your account, and then you would type your message, and then you go to the little attachment, and then solicitor schedule. There you go. You can see that it's attached. So I would always say if you're messaging people for the first time in your account, a really good tip is to say like, hey, this is Sarah. This is my business number, because your CRM is often a different number, right? So just say, hey, this is my business number. Please save it to my contacts, but don't hesitate to reach me on my cell as well. So they know your other phone number is still active. And then that way they're not like, who is this, right? So you do the same thing. You would say solicitor, schedule, text message, realtors, and you would hit SMS. So again, a great way just to land in their inbox. So with that, I will ask you guys, is there any questions that you have, anything like that? Shelley, too easy.
Quick question there. When it said processed, so, and it said one, so does that mean just you have processed that? So if I've got my assistant, would it show two?
No, so it's showing processed as in like who it's sent to. So
Okay.
I had everybody selected, but before, because I wanted to go through the whole step, so I actually deselected everyone and just chose one person. So one person processed through that bulk action is what it was saying. However, if you picked everyone and I had selected all 300, the bulk action would then say processed 300, and then it would tell you total 300, how many were processed, how many delivered, how many were skipped, and how many were errors.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Kelly?
Yeah, totally. And then one other quick question. Is there a way to tag, like in our smart list under realtors, is there a way to tag a group of realtors on Instagram.
Like you've imported them or they started messaging you kind of thing?
No, so like if I wanted to post this on my social media and then tag, like a lot of times I'll tag my realtors, but it's
Oh, I see what you're saying
constantly
when you
going.
go to post it, not
Yeah.
not in this.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. In here, if you schedule it through the software, which would be under marketing, I'm not sure if the feature is there because, as I mentioned previously, we use Metricool, right? And Metricool has the ability to tag, but
Oh,
let's
okay.
see.
I'll pop it because yeah, I've started using that. So
Let's see if it'll let me reconnect. Again, this is kind of my demo account, so it's not properly set up here. And I'm using my husband's computer because I get my new computer tomorrow. Yay! Okay, so I'm not going to go through force you guys to go
yeah,
through
that's
the
it.
steps. But if you can't tag in this software, again, I 100% recommend Metricool. And I said it's free until you decide you want to add LinkedIn for some reason. So free for the consumer, or you can message us. We have an enterprise account. So if we've got spots, you can have one. But I know they have made a bunch of updates to Go High Level with their scheduling platform. So that would be a cool one. And if it's not there, then just let me know. We can put it in the Go High Level wish list.
The wish list. Okay.
The wish list, yeah. And it's a generous time of year. Hopefully the wish come true by Christmas, right? But yeah, it would if you can't tag in here, that'd be interesting. But otherwise, you'd have to post manually. If you don't use Metricool, you'd have to post manually and tag each realtor. A trick I do really use on Instagram, however, when you do a story, my favorite kind of tagging hack is share it to your story if it's a post, and move the image out of the way in your story, and then you can like mass tag people in the text format, and then squeeze it really little and hide it.
Yeah.
And then that way you can tag a ton of people while you're doing it, right?
Well, and then it's always like, did I tag that person yesterday? Like that's the part that I need to be better at, right? So maybe creating lists within my notes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know there isn't, like, as far as automations go, if you wanted to tag like your realtor list and you were emailing them, if you got a new conversation in why am I stuttering now? Instagram, then you can tag it, because as you know, the conversations tab will house your Instagram conversations as well.
Yeah.
So if an incoming message comes in, you can create an automation that says like new message, tag that user. But that wouldn't be helpful for tagging them on Instagram, more so just recognizing where that realtor came from, right?
Awesome. Thank you.
In that case, what I would do is if the contact doesn't already exist, then add the tag, because you don't want, if an existing realtor partner messages you, to get added to your Instagram list, right? Because yeah, I'm sure they message you there as well. Any other questions? Got to run. Bye, Ashley. Thanks for joining. Danny, you were late, but I can share the template with you anyways. That's how generous this time of year is. Emily, any questions?
No, I'm good. Very good.
Good. Yeah, reach out if you want the template and I can send it over. An easy way to reach out to your list again.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Get some sleep today.
You.
Unlikely, but thank you. Danny, I'll just show you quickly while you're on the call before we hang up. But essentially, we just went through, there's this template I have called lawyer and solicitor kind of holiday schedule. And from here, you can update your favorite lawyer companies. And then, of course, based on where you are, using Deeded is always a good time over the holidays because they're open usually throughout. And then just updating the X's and the check marks accordingly, changing the dates to make sure it lines up with the schedules, adding your information and changing the brand colors, of course. Some people even go as far as adding the realtor information in here so that the realtor, it's more shareable. And then you could do like powered by your mortgage company. And then all we did, and you're familiar with High Level already, is we went to contacts. We selected, you know, our realtor list, and I showed them how to go through mass email or mass SMS. So that's kind of something I'd recommend big time this time of year, and posting to your social accounts as well, because it's a highly shareable piece of marketing.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions?
Everything I pretty much know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, you're a pro for sure. So yeah, we'll reconvene and see you guys next week for same time, same place, another 10-minute tech tip.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.